Welcome back. UWP candidate for Castries East, Fortuna Belrose, is not shying away from her quest to unseat current MP Philip J. Pierre at the next general elections. Belrose says she is in no way intimidated by the incumbent who has held this seat for 25 years.
The current election period is the second time that UWP candidate Fortuna Belrose will contest the Castries East seat. Some argue that Belrose is no match for the incumbent Philip J. Pierre, who has held the seat since 1997. But that statistic has not persuaded Belrose to give up her gloves this election period. She spoke on the hot seat this week and gave many reasons why Pierre may be defeated.
In looking at Castries East, I think it's an interesting seat. Interesting because you've had, for the last 25 years, the domination, of one party. Prior to that, you had 15 years of Romanus Lansico. I think what is interesting for this election is the fact that the parliamentary rep just recently admitted that most of the base work that happened in that constituency was attributed to the United Workers' Party, Romanus Lansico. And so it says to all of us, because even now he has acknowledged that he wants to name the Human Resource Center after him after 25 years. And I'm saying it means that the type of healing that needed to happen in that constituency for a long time never did. And so you had persons who remained very loyal to Romanus Lansico, and these stayed. And you had those who were just looking on the sidelines, who didn't care to become involved.
Pierre has been blamed for the current state of Castries East and its supposed neglect. Belrose is confident that she and the United Workers' Party will help change the status quo, as well as the mindset of the people of Castries East.
We need to look at the development of the constituency, which is the type of vision that Romanus Lansico has, which is still haunting us today. We need to ensure that we move in that direction, you understand, to ensure that we get the progress and make the changes that are required for the transformation of that society, of that community. It has not happened in the last 25 years. We have remained stagnant. You understand? There have been no growth in terms of the community. When you look at community initiatives for that constituency, you don't see it. Perhaps there were many personal favors being done, a lot of personal satisfaction being done. But when it came to the community as a whole, building your commercial sector, building your community organizations, building your groups, you understand, and strengthening that sense of community, I think to a large extent that was lost.
Some claim that the constituents do not identify with the philosophy of the United Workers' Party. Belrose says if that is the case, she is about to change it. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The new head of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force Band is planning to revive the musical group and restore it to its former glory. This as the band gears up to celebrate its 74th anniversary in June. Band Director, Assistant Superintendent of Police Dylan St. Jules, says a top priority for him is to find a permanent home for the band.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force Band is recognized on regional and international levels, having major successful performances around the world, such as those in Barbados in 2019, where it participated in the inaugural St. Cecilia Military Tattoo, and the International Band Festival in Taiwan in 2018. But in recent times, apart from the Independence Parade and rare calypso shows where the band provides backups for artists, not much has been done. That's in part to COVID-19 and the restrictions placed on social gatherings, but also the lack of a proper facility to house the band for rehearsals. The new director, Dylan St. Jules, says that a new home is desperately needed.
So in some scenarios we are housed, but not necessarily home, because we do not have all the facility we need, all the necessaries we need to really produce for St. Lucia. I mean, we've been doing well. We've been doing well up to a point. We were able to be very outstanding to the world, if you ask me. We were able to show what we can do in as far as Taiwan. We've been to many of the Caribbean islands, Barbados, Martinique, and we have produced and been rated among the best. However, presently, we don't have a home. Unfortunately, we have a location identified presently that we can use but nothing close to home, because an institution like ours need many other things which are instrumental to the development of the institution.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, band members have had to revert to ordinary policing due to the demand on the police force. St. Jules hopes that under his leadership, the band can build better relationships with the community and encourage young people to join the institution.
More than anything else, I would like the band to be able to come back to the community. I would like the band to be able to come as a team and serve the community, which most of them, that's what they really signed up to do, serve the community. And while they are serving the community, doing policing, we would really like to come back as a band and show the community what we can do.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force Band was formed on June 18, 1947. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The St. Lucia Nurses Association observes Nurses Week with a month-long celebration of the extraordinary work of nurses. More in this report.
Nurses around the island were honored and celebrated for their dedication and commitment to their profession. The St. Lucia Nurses Association recently held a church service and awards ceremony at the Temple of Faith Pentecostal Church, placing focus on how critical nurses are, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. President of the St. Lucia Nurses Association, Alicia Baptiste, thanked the nurses for their efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic.
COVID-19 pandemic has changed the world. The way we live, socialize, work, interact with each other, and the way we deliver nursing care. It has raised the visibility of nurses like never before and underlined that nurses are indispensable to healthcare and the backbone of every health service. Nurses are on the front lines of this pandemic, separated from their loved ones and praised as heroes. But nurses are human. They are not angels or superheroes. They have the same needs and rights as everyone else.
Pastor of the Temple of Faith Pentecostal Church, Pastor John Joseph, saluted all the nurses and recognized the invaluable work they continue to do.
There are things that I love about nurses. The immense pride in what they do, their work. You love what you do and you believe you are made for this. And this is part of what you are aspiring to be. The parallel between nursing and pastoring only begins here. Our common role is to give care or self-care for others.
Nurse Alicia Baptiste also made a call to support the courage of the nurses under very challenging situations.
Over the past year, nurses had some of the most critical roles and responsibilities during the pandemic. They will continue to be at the front line of healthcare in communities, primary healthcare, and the acute care sector. Nurses have been leaders in ensuring that all patients receive patient-centered and high-quality care. While performing in their roles and responsibility, nurses have sacrificed much, including their physical, mental, and emotional health, and even their very lives.
International Nurses Week is celebrated under the theme, Nurses, a Voice to Lead, a Vision to Future Healthcare. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fennel Neptune.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We'll be right back.